Whatever vision God gives you is for a generation. If you are in a business that cannot be scaled, it's a wrong business. So when you're picking that thing you want to give your entire life to, please be sure it can be scaled. It can be scaled. So can it be scaled? All right? So I'm selling granite. Can it be scaled? What is the value need of the granite? If I'm just frying granite and selling, I'm limited at how much I could scale it. But if I'm processing granite into different kinds of product, that means a very important need. I can scale that. So scalability is, can this grow into a multinational point? Can we move this from one point to the other? There are some things that you do that are not scalable, but if you understand the problem, you might be able to scale the problem, not the skill. You can scale a problem, but maybe not the skill. For instance, dancing is a skill. You might not be able to scale it, but you can scale the need for the dancing. The skill itself, the act itself can be scaled. And then you figure out, how do I scale this art? Also, how do I scale this? And so how do I turn this into a business? Okay, that is scalable. Not waiting for people to meet me before value is exchanged. But I can find a way to do some things. I could scale comedy, but maybe not me as just me, but I can scale what I do and make it reach out to the world. By way of now saying, okay, can I build it into a system where I do some things and project it, and we keep projecting different part of that skill, and it just go viral. And even after I'm gone, a whole lot of things can still be done with the structure I've built. So it's not built around me. It's not just about me, but it's about what I represent and what value I'm solving using all of these tools and skill sets to achieve. So if it's not scalable, it is not worth your life investment. When you read your Bible and you see Jesus, God appearing to Peter, trying to change his mind and say, hey, Peter, kill and eat. You know, the four-footed shit that was dropped to him. And say, Peter, kill it. Peter said, no, I have never eaten anything unclean. And I have no business with this. It was a tug of war. And later on, he understood that God was telling him that he must reach out to the Gentiles, that the Gentiles need salvation. But Peter did not understand that. Why? Because all through the time Jesus stayed on earth, Jesus' focus was Israel. In fact, he strictly warned them to stay within that confine. Don't go anywhere else. Stay here. But when Jesus was leaving, in Acts chapter 1 verses 8, the game changed, the instruction changed, the direction changed. He said, you shall receive power after which the Holy Spirit is come, and you shall be witness unto me, first in where? Jerusalem, then where? Judah, then where? Samaria, then what? The uttermost part of the earth, including the Gentile nations. So he now let them know now it is time to reach out to others. We have established authority here now, and now you take the gospel here. So first, we were not reaching out to everybody, all right? This is a pilot state, Israel. That is it. Don't branch anywhere. Stay here. Then after it was done with all of that assignment, it was now time for the spread. Now we said to them, you will take the gospel to the uttermost part of the earth. I said, you should preach the gospel to all nations. He was now talking to them about nations. Remember, all of this conversation now happened 40 days after he resurrected. So it was still not sinking. They were used to the 3.5 years experience and instruction to stay around Israel. So they could not do the swap very fast. So God had to start using different methods to push that into them. That no, that was a season and we needed to give a focus. Why? Because I was on an assignment. Now the door is open, the chance is there. Now everybody globally can receive this gospel. To show you the intensity of his level of focus. It was so focused that it required training to get them to do something else because of the extreme focus that Jesus' ministry gave to his disciples. It shut down things. You know Jesus with compassion. yet he will look at somebody and say, I'm not sent to this one. He called himself king, yet he will reject an offer to be crowned king because he knew this is not the kind of king I'm talking about. Nothing distracted him. He was extremely focused on his assignment. And most people do not know about this, so they start something, they think they are focused, but actually they are so far from being focused. Don't start with an idea. Start with a problem. Identify a problem first. You see, most times we come and say, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, this idea, yeah. I'm going to do this one. Why? Because you're thinking, which of these lines could give me money? So the first thing you're thinking is the idea that will bring money, right? So you're thinking money, that is the first thing in your head. Okay, if I go into this kind of business, this one, I will make money from this. If I go into this one, I think I'll make more money. Oh, this person is doing it and is making so a lot of money. Now let me go into it. Now, that is the reason why you're going into it. Or you're just coming up with an idea. Oh, if I just do something like this, it will make sense. Oh, let me see if I can, where can I start this in? Now you're starting with an idea. And that is the wrong place to start from. Why? Because most times when you focus on what you do, you realize that it will require much more than you thought on paper or you thought initially that it will require for you to break even into it. You might begin and discover a whole lot of problems. Anywhere you find gold, you find challenges. Gold are not found on the surfaces. They are found around very, very big obstacles. Otherwise, everybody will pick it on the street, right? So when you see anything, any industry, any business area that is going to deliver, there's always a big challenge. And that's why many people are not there or solving it at the level at which they are supposed to be solving it. So you're going to meet trouble. When you eat and meet challenges, without the reason, be a strong reason for being in that industry or being in that business, being in that line, you will soon run away. But when you have something much more deeper than just the money, you are able to fight through, you are able to scale through, you are able to find the solutions around it. You identify a real problem that is underserved. Pick a real problem, relying on God's guidance. Habakkuk 2 verses number 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. That means I'm going to search my heart and pray about this. I'm going to be diligent to get insight to these things. And the Lord said in verses number 2, write the vision. That means it was delivered, it was inspired by God, and I could look at it and see it more. Because certain things, when it comes to you, or by way of discovery, by way of deep search, becomes like a mission. And when you get something that is delivered to you like a mission with a strong conviction, no matter the challenges you meet on the way, you will not run back. You will run forward. You keep finding a way around that problem to solve it because you see it like a mission. But if it's just an idea, you soon just pack it up and just move on. But if you knew that this was a vision given, inspired by God, you will stay with it. So certain things make a lot of sense to you when you feel a connection that somehow I just felt I should be doing this. And more so, I could see the need in the industry. I could see the problem that the people are dealing with. I could recognize the challenges that are there. And so if I could just focus on that and help people solve that problem, it will make a lot of difference. So it's the problem that you're seeing, that God enables you to be able to see, that's critical. Moses became what he is because of a burden that he recognized. The people needed deliverance, and there is a prophecy on their lives, and they needed to be saved. And he knew that this was a calling on his life, but he didn't know how. So when God began to speak to him, he was able to push through. And a man who was once serving under his own father-in-law, taking care of his father-in-law's sheep, suddenly grew to become a major prophet. But how did that happen? It happened, first of all, with the burden. So whose burden do you feel? The faintest pen is stronger than the sharpest memory. Faintest pen is stronger, more reliable than the sharpest memory. I say, oh, I remember. Yeah, I'm writing it in my head. Put it down. Write it down. Write it down. Be in the habit of writing things down. You're listening right now, but you're not writing. And you cannot run with what you don't understand. There's a reason God always says, write it down. 10 Commandments was not too easy to impart on Moses. He could impart it on him that he will not even forget it. But he said, write it down. Everything document. When you are in any seminar, you can't go to a seminar and you don't write down things. You write it down, come back and review. And which of them can I run? In fact, when you are listening and you're downloading information or you're reading a book, you're listening to a teaching, what you should be writing down mostly is things you will change, things you will stop doing, things you will infect. That's the most important. Decisions. You're writing decisions down. I change this from today. From today, I do this. From today, this happens. I'm taking this other decision. That is what you do. You take decisions and you're writing down decisions. So when you go back, you look at all the decisions and all the strategies you were picking while the conversation was going. Because most times you write so much and you don't never read back again. Instead, take the time to do a lot of listening and then decision writing, decision notes taking. Very key.